I'm going to tell you a scenario in which I guarantee you will be facing in the near future. If you're a talented high school athlete, or if you know someone who is a talented high school athlete, I'm going to forecast a scenario in which I guarantee you're going to face. And the beauty of this is going to be an obstacle, adversity, or just simply something you'll face head on in every endeavor for the rest of your life. So it's great that it's going to prepare you for those other things like relationally, career driven, whatever. But that is what is going to be the outcome and what happens when talent meets talent. So you're a talented athlete. What happens when you go head to head with another talented athlete? That could be raw talent on raw talent. That could be trained talent on trained talent. It could be any form. It's what happens when you meet a competitive form of resistance that's equal to you. How do you still win in that? Because you want to know the answer to what the outcome is going to be, or at least what the favor of that outcome should be. You want to start building that right now. You don't want to get ready for that day that day. Okay, now is the time to prepare for that. So what I have are a series of principles, both tangible and intangible. I'm going to break it down to you in this video of what you need to start self-auditing to what you're doing. So take what I say, look at what you're doing with your training program and what you're doing to prepare yourself as an athlete, and see where this fits, see what you're doing, see what you're not doing. Take notes, get your pen, get your paper. I got my legal pad here, I have my pen. Take notes and apply this, because I could go on and on about a list. I could make this list in this video 2 hours. Hopefully it's probably somewhere around 20 minutes. I have 5 key principles that we're going to go through today. And if you apply these, I promise you, this gives you the most favorable chance of getting that outcome that you would like to have when talent meets talent. And those will be the same principles as I mentioned in your career and in every endeavor of your life. When you go up against a competitor that gives real resistance to you winning, what happens? What happens when talent meets talent, okay? Number one, and we're going to talk about being a high school athlete today. So I'm not going to talk about every form of life, even though this would pretty much copy and paste. I'm going to refer everything to you being the best version you could possibly be as a high school athlete and setting yourself up and opening up doors of opportunity for whatever direction you may want to go, okay? So number one, write this down. Program fits the athlete doesn't fit the program. Program fits the athlete doesn't fit the program. What that means is a program is not templated to work at the highest level for 100 athletes, one workout for 100 athletes, one workout for 10 athletes. It's not going to be as effective. You need some form of your training that is 100% custom to you. Now, I understand as a high school athlete or at any level as an athlete, you have team conditioning, and that's very important. Everything I'm about to say is not knocking your head coach, your strength and conditioning coach, nobody. What they're doing is likely the best that can be done. What I'm telling you is that it alone is not enough. I know professional athletes. I know what they do in season, off season. I know their training program with the team, and I know their training program individually. All of them have to do work with their conditioning, with their training. I don't just mean skill training like shooting, throwing, hitting. They do that too. But I mean referring to being the best possible outcome of an athlete they can be. Their actual conditioning, their strength and conditioning. That is still additional work of one-on-one customized training. So they do the team. You should do the team. Everybody should do the team workouts. Those are very critical. This is in addition to. It's not and or, it's both, okay? It's and not or, all right? So if the professionals who are awarded the most resources you can possibly have as an athlete still deem that what they get from the team is not enough and that they still need additional work custom to them beyond that, which they do, imagine as a high school athlete thinking you're getting enough from just your team workouts. You're not. It'd be a very terrible mistake to believe that. And that's not a knock again on any of your coaches. They're doing likely the best that they could do. It just means that for you to be the best version of yourself, you do need elements of your training that are built for you. That's all it means. All right? So program fits the athlete doesn't fit the program. Meaning, I want the program to mold to what you need, not you mold to what the program asks. Okay? That's number one. Number two, this is a quick hitter. It's really important. Train with a partner. I want you working out with a partner. I was just at University of South Florida about a week ago, and I was at a strength and conditioning clinic. And Nebraska was there, their strength and conditioning coach. Penn State was there. There were nutrition coaches there, directors of sports performance from all across the country, USF's, their entire strength and conditioning staff for the football team. Everybody was there. It was an amazing clinic. I could go on and on about that. But the key of that was, even at the collegiate level, they want all of their athletes to train with a partner. When they do team training, partner. When you do your one-on-one program, still with a partner. You have your program, they have theirs. Obviously, there's going to be a little modification back and forth, but you want a partner. A partner can spot you. A partner can push you. A partner can help you keep the pace. They can force you to keep the pace of the workout, but you're also going to keep the pace of progress. Okay? You will be better if you train with a partner. If you don't have a partner, we'll find a way for you and me to get in touch, because I can show you how to fix that really quickly. Okay? And I don't mean working out with me. I will show you a community where you can actually get that fixed. But story for another day. I want you to be focused on training with a partner. That's number two. Number three, positional demands. So when we say positional demands matter, you got to think about practice loads and game loads are going to be different. This goes back to the customization thing. It's linked to that, is that different programming is required for different positions. Meaning, if you're on a team, it's really important to understand that even when we're talking about this team training, this goes by why you need one-on-one coaching additionally, or some form of customization, is that there are differences in your loads positionally from a game and practice based off the positions you play. Different positions run more. Different positions are more contact driven. Different positions have different, and I mean positions within the sport, especially football, but every sport, name it, even basketball, baseball, track, it does not matter. Positions matter. So your positions, the practice load and game loads are different. So your programming needs to be different. And by programming, I mean not just what you do in the weight room. I also mean, or in speed work, I also mean in your recovery. Okay? So your programming of your entire program needs to be based off the position you play, because your demands both in the game and practice are different. So positional demands, I'm repeating this because I want this, I'm regurgitating over and over because I want this to be hammered home. This is why it's very important that it gets different. There's customization to you and your position, okay? And also your needs, your strengths, and your weaknesses, right? Number 4, habits have to align with goals. Okay, your habits have to align with where you say you want to be. If you have high school habits, you'll get high school outcomes. If you want collegiate habits, or if you have collegiate goals, you're going to need collegiate habits, okay? If you're professional habits equal professional goals, professional accolades. Now, you might be saying, well, I'm really not that great of an athlete. I'm probably never going to be able to go pro. You're probably right, but let's logically break that down and reverse engineer it. If you're not that great of an athlete who probably has the potential to go pro, do you think that having high school habits is going to yield you the best opportunity and the best chance to be the best high school athlete you can be? No. If you're working with less, you're going to have to do more. So you, more than anybody, needs professional habits to get the best outcome for whatever you can be in high school. You might actually make it to college in that level and play if you want to. So your habits have to align with your goals, bare minimum, or shoot even beyond that, as that example would give, okay? But everything you do, from the way that you eat, from the way that you sleep, from the way that you recover, to what you do in your free time, to your form of training, obviously, to the skill work that you do in sports-specific training, all of that has to be measured and say, is this aligned with the goals that I have? Am I putting in the time that actually mirrors with what I say I want, okay? So self-audit that. Literally just write down everything you did this last week. Put your goals at the top, pick your top 2 or 3 goals, and then write down everything you did in all those categories I just mentioned. And then tell yourself, am I actually deserving of my goals? Okay? And we don't always get what we deserve, so keep that in mind. But are you even deserving of it? Are you even giving yourself a chance and putting yourself in the arena? That's something you really have to ask. Don't give yourself grace on that either. Be hard. You'll benefit from that. And then the last piece is you need to have a training system, okay? We're not just willy-nilly going to the gym and doing things that we saw on YouTube. Hence, you're seeing this on YouTube. You're not just going to the gym and Googling exercise to do today for this one body part, okay? If you've never worked out before, that will work for a little while to some degree. It'll never be optimal, but it will work for a little while to some degree. But even that runs dry, okay? But if you want to be the best version of yourself, which is the way that I always speak and what I always want for you, if you want to be the best version of yourself, you need to have an actual training program, okay? And a training program, I could add a ton of principles, but I'm going to give you 4 or 5 right now, okay, that I have within my training system, that I do with my athletes, that I do with myself, that I've done in the past, and that I will continue to do. I have a training system. I have a means as to what I do and why I do it, okay? So these are some of the principles in which I make sure are always included. Number 1 is custom. We've already been over that. Number 1 is everything that I do is going to be custom to that athlete. I do not make a template and say that this works for everybody. Even if it would work for everybody, it will always be more optimal or less optimal for certain athletes within that group that I could give it to, okay? And that's why I want to structure things to give you the best chance to succeed, because you need it. You have your own unique weaknesses, strengths, and limiters. Limiters meaning things that will limit you from breaking through that wall and getting to the next level, okay? So number 1 is custom. We're going to make that pretty clear tonight. Number 2 is you need structured overload. So you do need to be pushing and going heavier over time. You do need to be increasing reps. You do need to be increasing even the volume sometimes based off the training phase you're in. But it needs to have a structure to it. So structured overload. You've heard of progressive overload? Yes, I like to say structured overload, meaning I have a roadmap as to why we're going and why and where we're going. Okay, so structured overload. Number 3 is fatigue management. Fatigue management, when I say that, you're probably thinking like, oh, he's worried I'm going to overtrain. I'm going to do too much and I'm going to, reap whatever negative benefits of overtraining. Most athletes don't actually overtrain. What they do is they under-recover, okay? So with fatigue management, I'm referring to you doing whatever is required, and I won't be as broad about that. I'll give you some examples, but whatever is required in order to be the best version of yourself tomorrow, okay? It does you no good to train today and then wake up tomorrow and be a version of yourself that can't make yourself better tomorrow. Okay? Even if you're sore, which will happen, you need to learn how to recover. You need to learn how to utilize fatigue management and structure your training in such a way that you can progress. You're going to take a little step back in the gym because you're breaking muscle tissue, right? But you need to be able to make a step forward each day too. All right? So it's 1 step back, 2 steps forward. Fatigue management. Being able to be the best version of yourself day in and day out, and tomorrow you can put your best foot forward, okay? So that's a complete program. That's not just training. That is your nutrition. That is your recovery protocols from like a mobility work, from sleep, okay? So there's a lot of your hydration. There's a lot of things that we could detail in to make sure that you're better tomorrow than just working out and then doing everything else wrong. You will reap the negative benefits tomorrow, which will hinder you from making as much progress as you should, okay? And then number 5 or 4, whatever this is on that, is your training system needs to be concurrent, meaning you're doing more than just one form of training. With me, in every workout, I train strength, I train power, I train for lactic capacity and building your muscular endurance so that you're strong when you're tired. I want endurance, I want strength, I want power, I want to make every workout be concurrent. We do not just have a strength day where you go in and do 1 or 2 exercises just for strength and call it a day. Never. All right? So, custom training, your training system, your program needs to be a system. Custom to you. Structured overload, progressing over time in weight, reps, volume. Fatigue management, meaning basically a protocol, a set of protocols for how to recover. Meaningful and repeatable. I actually left this out. Your work needs to be, what you do needs to be meaningful and repeatable. If you know what to do, that's 50%. But if you also know why you're doing it, that's how you're going to push yourself a little bit further. I promise you, I've spoken of this in previous videos. You need to know the why just as much as the what, because the why will get you that extra rep. You'll go 5 pounds heavier. You'll do one more set. Okay? I promise you will, because if you know that exercise yields the result you want and you really want that result, it will draw more out of you. That is the why. You need to know what you're doing and you need to know why you're doing it. Okay? And then concurrent training. We're training multiple systems within a workout. Okay? If you apply all that I just mentioned, and I hope you wrote that down, and if not, go back and watch it. I'd actually recommend you go back and watch it anyway so that you can hear me explain it. And then share it with a friend. Share it with a friend who you also know is on the same journey as you. Maybe you all can train together, right? I hope and I know this works if you apply it. I hope that you apply it. I hope it serves you well. I have a very good video coming tomorrow. So if you're watching this now, depending on when you see it, it may already be out. If not, please like and subscribe. I am very passionate about the videos that I'm going to be putting out moving forward. I have a very clear mission as to what I'm trying to help all of these athletes that watch these videos achieve. I'm not going to put it all out in one video, but you're going to see it over time. I will unveil my mission and it will be very clear as we build you. Okay? We're in this together. I want nothing but the best for you. I will see you in the next video. Like and subscribe, and take care, and God bless.